Hi, I'm Alexis, and I refused to be born for 9 years. Time to come into the world? No thanks. I'm perfectly fine right here. No, not like that. I didn't literally sit in my mom's belly all the time. It's just that my parents kept trying to have me for years. Mom even has her trademark joke about it. Instead of 9 months, we waited 9 years for you, Alexis. They started thinking about having a child once they were settled in life. Steady jobs, a house in the suburbs, a perfect lawn. The only thing missing was a rosy-cheeked little one. But no matter what they tried, they just couldn't conceive me. What followed was a series of disappointments, failed IVF attempts, and even one disastrous fertility cult in Arizona. No joke. My mom and dad actually spent a whole year living in some weird commune, worshipping corn and praying for a baby. And then, when they were almost ready to give up, Mom finally got pregnant with me. There was one problem. By the time I was born, all my parents' friends had kids ages ago. So at backyard barbecues, I ended up hanging out with not kids my age, but with teenagers. Of course, they didn't accept me. Beat it, kid. It's not like I wanted to hang out with them anyway. I was 6, afraid of the dark, and obsessed with cartoons. They only cared about chewing gum and kissing. Now, I'm almost 16, but that feeling of not fitting in still hasn't gone away. All my classmates' parents are young. They're into startups and trends. Well, my parents, let's just say they're from another era. I often feel embarrassed because of them. For example, today my school organized a charity picnic, a perfect day for humiliation. Mom suddenly decided she doesn't like modern music. That sounds like a pregnant seagull screeching. Put on the Beatles instead. My cheeks instantly turned red like a couple of tomatoes. Alexis, why'd you bring your grandparents along? I counted to 10, but it still didn't calm me down. Luckily, my best friend Ingrid was right there. She's the coolest person I know. Forget what that idiot thinks. Easy for you to say. Your parents are so young and cool. People sometimes mistake your mom for your older sister. That has its downsides. Mom and dad are like oversized kids. Yesterday, they spent 2 hours Googling how to get rid of white mold in the kitchen. It turned out to be some spilled powdered sugar. Geniuses. The picnic was in full swing when my parents announced they had to leave on business. Okay, Alex. See you at home, buddy. Alex? Buddy? He knows you're a girl, right? I asked him that once too. Eventually, I just accepted Dad's quirks. He always wanted me to play with toy cars and robots, and my room looked like a boy's bedroom. At one point, my dad even tried to teach me how to play baseball, but he gave up pretty fast. Okay, baseball's not your thing. I guess Dad really wanted a son. By the way, Ingrid, are you coming to my birthday tomorrow? You don't want to? Sorry, but last year it was all adults. Talks about investments and back pain kind of kill my vibe. This time my parents promised me a surprise. Hopefully a normal teen party. I'm hoping they'll finally get me a puppy. Alright, I'll be there. Suddenly, we heard the piercing sound of shattering glass. That came from inside the school. Let's go check. In the chemistry room, we found the principal. Mr. Hartley stood frozen, clutching his chest, his face drained of color. The toppled cabinet and shattered test tubes were scattered across the floor. He stared into the void, his mind lost in a haze. I saw a ghost. A ghost? Suddenly, he snapped out of it and seemed normal again. I tripped. Everything's fine. He walked out, leaving the mess behind. The school janitor came in to clean it up. He was a real oddball, but a fun one. It's happened again. What do you mean? 10 years ago, Mr. Hartley's 16-year-old son, Brian, vanished without a trace. Ever since, on the anniversary of his disappearance, the principal becomes unsettled. He starts seeing things that aren't there. Ingrid and I exchanged uneasy looks. A heavy, anxious sadness settled over us. That evening, I was painting my nails and watching the latest episode of Private Diary. Suddenly, my door flew open. I need your help in the basement. My nails aren't dry yet. Alex, it's urgent. Otherwise, the house will flood. I corrected him in my head. It's Alexis, not Alex, not Lexi, and definitely not Buddy. Then I dragged myself after him. The pipes are leaking. We need to fix this before the basement turns into a swimming pool. Hand me the adjustable wrench. Sure. I stared at the toolbox, baffled. Where were the IKEA-style labels when I needed them? Hurry, Alex. It's gonna be a disaster if we don't do something. I grabbed the first thing I saw and shoved it into his hand. That's not it. The next second, the pipe burst and Dad got drenched in freezing water. Look what you've done! What I've done? I'm not yelling at you for ruining my nail polish. Why are you even painting your nails? 'Cause I'm a girl and I don't know tools. Sorry if you were hoping for a son. In just 3 seconds, I bolted to my room and buried my face in the pillow with a growl. In the morning, they woke me up, clapping and grinning like I'd just won gold at the Olympics. Happy birthday, sweetheart. Alexis, I'm sorry about yesterday. I overreacted. At first, I wanted to turn away, but Dad looked so embarrassed and guilty that I couldn't help hugging him. Get ready. We've got a surprise waiting for you. An hour later, we were on the road, my best friend beside me. Ingrid and I were already picturing the day ahead. trampolines, shopping, arcade games. Nothing fancy, just the kind of birthday any teenager would dream of. Come on, where are we going? Be patient, just a little longer. Fingers crossed there will be pizza and not steamed broccoli. Soon we found ourselves in some cafe. The place was packed with adults, mom and dad's friends and their 25-year-old kids, all those teenagers who are now grown-ups. Any hopes I had for a normal birthday went straight down the drain. What is this supposed to be? It's your birthday party! And why did you invite all these people? Don't be rude. They're our friends. Oh wow, feels like we crashed a board meeting, but let's at least try to have some fun. Easier said than done. Everywhere we turned, adults tried to lecture us. Girls, you need to look more presentable. You won't get a government job with that nail polish. Alexis, have you chosen a career yet? It's time to start thinking about your future. Yesterday, I was eating chips in the bathtub and watching raccoon videos, so maybe I won't rush into a career just yet. Finally, my parents announced they had something for me. I squeezed my eyes shut and started praying. Please let it be a puppy. Happy birthday! That's not a puppy. Is that paperwork? Stock certificates! It's time you started investing! I was barely holding it together. And then came the cherry on top. My parents brought out a cake with a giant candle shaped like the number 25. But I'm only 16. We expected you 9 years earlier. So to us, you're 25. That's when my blood really started to boil. You want me to act like the grown-up kids of your friends, but I'm a teenager. I don't even know who I'll be when I grow up. I don't want to invest. I like video games, and I haven't even had my first kiss. Sorry if I didn't meet your expectations, but honestly, I never tried to. Let's get out of here. Hey, don't get so worked up. The party wasn't that bad. Okay, who am I kidding? It was awful. Suddenly, an ambulance sped past us and stopped outside Mr. Hartley's house. Of course, we went over to see what was wrong, but the paramedics put the principal in the ambulance and shooed us away. That evening at home was fun. I was mad at my parents. They were mad at me. You acted like a child in front of our friends. I am a child, and I couldn't care less what your friends think. Alex, watch your tone. My name is Alexis. Stop dreaming about the son you never had. I locked myself in my room again and growled into my pillow. I decided to run away for a couple of days to teach them a lesson. I went down to the basement and found a tent, but it was jammed in a heap of old junk. I'm the wrong gender for my parents, the wrong age. Maybe it would have been better if I'd never been born at all. Finally, I managed to pull the tent out, but it came free so suddenly I fell and hit my head. After a while, I came to, but when I got out of the basement, I didn't recognize our house. It looked neglected, like nobody had cleaned or fixed anything in ages. My heart sank. I ran to my room, but now it was a storage closet full of junk. This can't be happening. I ran outside and saw my parents. They looked lifeless, like mummies in a museum. Mom, Dad, what's going on? Who are you? I'm your daughter. Don't joke like this. We were never able to have a child. Without one, our life is empty. It felt like I'd slipped into a parallel universe where I was never born. I could barely breathe. I squeezed my eyes shut as hard as I could and woke up back in the basement. My heart was pounding like there was a rock band drummer inside my chest. I had a huge bump on my head, but I felt relieved it was only a bad dream. Weirdly, it made me realize my parents would be miserable without me. I was already planning to go upstairs and make up with them. Then I noticed a box labeled Alex. Inside were tiny clothes for a baby boy. Next to them, an ultrasound photo and other medical documents. Judging by the date, they were almost 10 years before I was even born. My whole body started to shake. Mom and Dad looked at the box in my hands as if they saw a ghost. The room went quiet. Then suddenly they both started to cry. I was pregnant with a boy, but I lost him. After that, we went through years of trying again, until finally we had you. You named me after Alex. You decorated my room for him. You put the number 25 on my cake because you wanted him here instead of me. I'm just a way for you to fill the void. I broke down crying and ran away. This wasn't just a teenager's tantrum anymore. They had me hurt to the core. I went straight to Ingrid's and told her everything. Of course, she let me stay at her place. I don't even know who I am anymore. Hey, you're not just some backup plan. You're Alexis, a real person. Thanks. Love you. We kept quiet so Ingrid's parents wouldn't find out I was there. Then Ingrid caught the sound of footsteps. That's Mom. Hide in the closet. Alexis, come on out. I know you're in there. Sorry, Mrs. Wilson. It's all right. When I was your age, I ran away from home too. It wasn't until I became a mom myself that I understood how worried my parents must have been. That's why I called your parents and told them you're here. You can stay as long as you need to cool down. Wow, Mom, you actually sound like a real adult right now. Wise and awesome. We're not perfect parents, but we try, and we're still learning. Now drink your milk and get some sleep. The next morning at school, Ingrid and I peeked into Mr. Hartley's office to check if he was okay. Instead, we caught the janitor. He was pretending to be the principal and looked like he was scolding a mop. I'm calling your parents. Hello? Oh, girls, I was just cleaning. We saw an ambulance take Mr. Hartley away. Is he all right? Word is, he had a breakdown. He kept seeing his missing son's face everywhere. They had to send him off for a mental check. Before long, the school got a temporary principal, Miss Grimm. She was as mean as a starving crocodile. The teachers were terrified of her, the students hated her, and everyone was just waiting for Mr. Hartley to come back. Ingrid and I even tried to visit him in the hospital, but no visitors were allowed to see the principal. We need to make sure Mr. Hartley is of sound mind. A few days went by, but I was still staying with my friend. Strangely enough, my parents hadn't tried to bring me home. Maybe Mom and Dad were glad I'd run away? One day, Ingrid and I were coming back late from the movies. As we passed the principal's house, she suddenly froze. Look, the lights are on. Do you think they finally let Mr. Hartley out? We crept closer to be sure, and there they were, a pair of burglars at work. We even overheard them talking. Time to clear out. Tomorrow night, we'll come back and take the rest. Ingrid and I exchanged a panicked look and ran back to her house. We told her parents everything, and they called the police. The next evening, the cops set up an ambush at Mr. Hartley's house and caught the thieves red-handed. Ingrid and I watched it all unfold like a real-life movie. The most surprising thing was that the next morning, the principal showed up at school. Mr. Hartley, how are you feeling? Much better now. Girls, you helped me, so you deserve an explanation. The principal revealed that one of the burglars was his grown son, Brian. He didn't just vanish 10 years ago. He ran away after all our fights, fell with a gang of small-time crooks, and drifted from city to city. When things got really bad, Brian convinced them to rob my house. For days, he kept showing up on purpose, like a ghost, just to make me look crazy. He wanted everyone to think I'd lost my mind so his gang could loot the place. When they finally got arrested, the doctors realized I wasn't insane and let me go. My name is cleared, but it's still my fault Brian ruined his life. I shouldn't have been so harsh with him. Maybe he chose your house for a reason. Maybe he missed you too. Just had a strange way of showing it? Maybe so. Thank you, Alexis. On the way home, I kept thinking about my parents. They'd always been there for me. They're good people. And when we got back to Ingrid's, Mom and Dad were waiting for me there. They'd come to take me home. We have a surprise for you. We've been redoing your room while you were gone. They swung the door open and I froze. It wasn't Alex's room anymore. Not some boy's room. It was finally mine. I think this is the gift you really wanted, isn't it? I hugged the puppy and looked at my parents with tears of joy in my eyes. You did this all for me? Of course. You're our miracle, the one we waited for. We're sorry if we ever made you feel like you didn't matter. We'll try to do better, to be modern parents. You don't have to. I love you just the way you are. Oh, and those stocks you gave me? I don't understand a thing about them, but you'll help me, right? We will, once you turn 18. For now, just enjoy being a kid. Later, I found Alex's ultrasound photo and put it in a frame. See, Lucky? That's my big brother. He'll always be here with us.